flags fly high. We're locking down the borders, no more sneaking on by. Trump's leading the charge with a fire in his stare. ICE is slapping cuffs on illegals, beware. Deport, deport, haul them off the street. Spiritual warfare, bringing down the heat. Arresting all the criminals, watch them cry and fall. To Alcatraz we're sending here, we're deporting them all. They thought they'd run free, breaking laws with a grin. But ICE is on the prowl, and they ain't gonna win. We're clearing out the bad guys, cleaning up the town. With Trump calling shots, those tears are falling down. Deport, deport, haul them off the street. Spiritual warfare, bringing down the heat. Arresting all the criminals, watch them cry and fall. To Alcatraz we're sending you, we're deporting them all. They thought they'd run free, breaking laws with a grin. But ICE is on the prowl, and they ain't gonna win. We're clearing out the bad guys, cleaning up the town. With Trump calling shots, those tears are falling down. Deport, deport, haul them off the street. Spiritual warfare, bringing down the heat. Arresting all the criminals, watch them cry and fall. To Alcatraz we're sending you, we're deporting them all. From the back roads to the cities, hear the justice ring. We're locking up the outlaws, let the patriots sing. No more crime in our streets, we're taking back control. Ship them off to Alcatraz, let them weep in that hole. Deport, deport, haul them off the street. Spiritual warfare, bringing down the heat. Arresting all the criminals, watch them cry and fall. To Alcatraz we're sending you, we're deporting them all. So raise your hat to Trump, keep the country strong. ICE is rounding them up, moving along. From the prairies to the coast, we're answering the call. Spiritual warfare's here, and we're deporting them all.
Wow, there we go. What is up, everybody? My name is Jess Weber, and this is Spiritual Warfare. What you just watched was one of many music videos that we will be producing here at webersway.com. It was a little rough, I would think, but Chuck, it was all right. Jose's got to work on it a little bit more. He needs to showcase a little more action with those illegals getting deported. But anyways, we're just having fun over here. And it's unfortunate that they have to be deported all, isn't it? I understand that you might be related to them. I'm going to understand that you might be dating one. I understand you might be married to one. But we got rules and laws, and we should not reward anybody that has broken the law. And that's exactly why they are getting deported, is because we can't reward these people for coming into America unvetted, unchecked, not paying taxes, using who knows what Social Security, and getting away with these crimes for so many years. So it's time for law and order here in America. It's got to happen, folks. And listen, you got to just for the illegals that are not getting deported, that will not make that line. Because is it possible for Trump to deport 20 million people? It would be absolutely insane if he could pull that off. I'll tell you that much. It would be it would be amazing, actually. But is it possible? No. But for the people that are going to get away, that are not going to get deported, and then they're not going to self-deport, just call your victory. You won. You got in. You're in. And just make sure you assimilate with the American people. Make sure you learn English. Make sure you learn the ways of here in our life. Don't isolate yourself in a little town with your only group of people that you like, and that's it. You could, join everybody else. I get that people love to be with their own kind. I understand that. Okay, I remember being in California. Everywhere I looked was Asian and Latino. No white people near me where I was. I was in Koreatown. Nobody around there. So I felt isolated. And then when I went to go to work, it was, it was nice to work with people of your own kind, right? There's nothing wrong with that. All right, folks. This was just in. We're just going to break this in right now. it's very interesting because you remember the guy that killed those 2 senators? Well, apparently in a letter to the FBI, Vance Butler claimed that Governor Tim Walz instructed him to kill the U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar so that Walz could run for U.S. Senate. Minnesota Star Tribune. So there you go. Butler also alleges that he has been trained by the U.S. military off books, and Walz have asked him to kill Senator Klobuchar and others. This list consists of 45 other people, most all Democrats, and Planned Parenthood people. You got to remember he had no King's papers in his car. You know, this kind of just showcase. It almost seems like it could be reversed. You know what I mean? It could be a right-wing lunatic, you know, killing off Democrats, but it just doesn't make any sense, though. Actually, you know what? I'm going to reverse that because he killed 2 people that voted for for a bill that would be in the Republicans' favor. So I don't know. I don't see it. I honestly think that Walz, he's such a beta male that would have someone else killed. That's what a beta male would do. He wouldn't do it himself. He wouldn't get his hands dirty. He would literally put himself on the kill list too, just to throw people off. But now this letter coming out to the FBI claiming that Walz instructed him to do this kind of stuff. I wonder if we're going to see someone actually finally go to jail. Is that even possible? Or are they protected? Satin effects. Is it? Is it, Larry? Is it, Rick? I see you guys. Is it? What is that? Nonsense 5? Okay. What a screen name that is. But, I mean, is he going to go to jail? That will be the ultimate question. Someone asked Grok, I don't know. If we get an answer here? At Grok, is this confirmed? No response. At Grok, good question. As of now, there is no solid confirmation or wild claim about Walz instructing Butler to take out Klobuchar. The Minnesota Star Tribune piece mentions a letter, but it's also coming from Butler himself, a guy who's apparently got a hit list that's longer than the CBS receipt and a history of targeting Dems. He was on some advisory board of Walz reappointed him to. Sure, but the board's big, bipartisan group with zero regular governor chit-chat, according to the insiders. Plus, Butler, Buddy says that he was a Trump fan. See, now they're switching it up. Hardy Walz inner circle material. Whatever that means. The timeline is fishy too. Butler has been popping off lawmakers recently, and letter smells like desperate deflection. Could be true, maybe, but it's my bet in my circuits. It's just more likely this deranged guy fantasy that the governor's secret plot. Keep digging, though. Truth is out there somewhere, buried under political muck. That's from Croc, the AI from X. So interesting. Now we got, that's what I was thinking. You know, it could be a lunatic, a right-wing lunatic. It could be a left-wing Walz is assigning him to kill these people. I mean, that's obviously crazy too. I don't know why he would target these two. You know, if it was a right-wing lunatic, let's get in the mind of a criminal, right? If it was a right-wing lunatic, would you take out 2 people in a local state, right? It's not the Senate or the Congress of United, right? The main house here in DC, in their state, right? Would a right-wing lunatic take out 2 people, right? That are voting for something that's pro, you know, they don't. I think it was illegals getting health care, and they voted against that. And she was very troubled when she did that, but she came to her senses and woke up and figured it out. So she voted for that, right? And she was very hesitant, and then all of a sudden she gets shot and killed a few days later. So would a right-wing lunatic go after that? Now, would a crazy leftist do that just to defer? So it looks like, I don't know. This is very confusing, I would have to say. My confirmation, I would think this guy is definitely a hitman for the left. It's clear as day to me now. All right, so the guy's definitely a hitman on the left, okay? Let's just go with that for now. He made a list of 45 Dems that he's going to kill. The list came from higher above. Waltz probably gave him the list because he was supposed to be the second gay guy in command, right? With the vice president. So if he was going to be in charge, he needs to get rid of some people, right? And to get his people in. So he probably thought he was on some power trip that he's never had in his entire life. And I'm sure that the satanic left came to him and say, listen, well, you're going to be the second gay guy in command here. You're going to be the VP, right? So what do you want to do? You want to knock some people out? We need to get rid of some people, you know? And he had these people on the list. I guess that guy went off and did it. And you know, sure enough, we obviously know what happened with the election. They lost. But now Waltz is like, oh, I got to stay in power. I got to stay in control. I need this power back. So, of course, I'm going to send out these hits. Of course, I'm going to do this. It just makes sense to me now. So that's the conclusion we're going to go with. Until you change my mind otherwise, Waltz looks like he needs to be completely arrested. All right? If you haven't done so, go to webersway.com/shop. Use the promo code GODWINS to get 10% off, and you can get your favorite shirts in our store called Spiritual Warfare. That's right. You can get it right now at webersway.com/shop. Use the promo code GODWINS. Free shipping, too. Still. All right. Here we go. On to the deportation, people. I was obviously, I was having a conversation with some leftists, which is fine. I don't mind it. First, he says to me, let's go to their chat. This is the kind of stuff that I deal with. This is just this is probably like 4 or 5 people I'm talking to right now that are leftists, and they come into my chats. This is some kid. He says, if Jesus is king, then why does he fit the profile of someone who administration would deport? All he ever would do is preach values and sharing, forgiveness and love, all which is fastest and fine controversial. So he's saying that we would deport Jesus if he came into our country. Well, if Jesus came into our country illegally, well, yeah, he probably would get deported. Right? If he came into the country illegally, started creating up ruckus, starting to commit crimes, would he get deported? I mean, sounds like an illegal to me. But they say that what they're saying is that this is what he did. Back then, I don't know what was going on with their border. I think they just, I don't know. You could visit a town. He was visiting towns. He wasn't staying in the town, living in the town and creating a ruckus and stealing and all this crimes. He wasn't using a fake social or whatever they did back in the day. Who knows? So I said, well, you got to have law and order, buddy. Jesus talks about borders in Romans 13, 1-7, and Matthew 22 and 21. And then he talks about, what does he say? And listen, I'm not here to teach you or show you the truth, okay? We already know the truth. We're already awake here, right? Well, everybody awake? Good. When you talk to a leftist in here, they have to understand, they have to find it themselves. Because it's all about discovery. Do you remember when you read about something or you discover something, how gratifying it was? Like, holy crap, I did my research, I figured this out, and now I know the truth. Okay, that's what we all did, all right? That's how we figured out things, right? And that's how we've been awake for so long. So I said, listen, you got to go read it yourself. By finding this, you might wake up yourself and then maybe realize you're on the wrong side of history. He says wrong side of history like Nazis were, or how America was in Vietnam. Sometimes you just can't reason with someone that is completely lost. Okay? All we're going to have to do is pray for you. We might have to pray for you at the end of the show. So anyways, he sends me this video. It says, Mega Christians, if Jesus walked on this earth today. This is the leftist videos that they show me. And we'll play it in its entirety just to showcase what the leftists really, this is the type of videos that brainwash the leftists.
Is now a preacher man going from town to town and telling pastors that we love that they are hypocrites and whitewashed tombs. He looks Middle Eastern. He's definitely not from this country, and I don't believe English is his first language. He gave a sermon to 5,000 people and fed every single one of those 5,000 people. And all that's going to do is teach those people to want to hand out some kind of leftist agenda. And he's got 12 men that just hang around. None of them are married and no children. What kind of Christian family value is that teaching? He said, "Blessed are the poor, and that it is nearly impossible for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God." That sounds like woke Marxist crap to me. And he's telling people that we need to be loving our neighbor, and not just any neighbor, all our neighbors. That's why I'm writing this new book called Toxic Neighborly Love. Not to mention he's healing people, providing free healthcare. Who's paying for that? Who does he think he is to say to welcome the immigrant? Has he seen the people coming across those borders? Apparently, he told one of those men that like to follow him around that he should lay down their weapons. You can come take my weapon out of my cold, dead hands. You have to save the children, because this man in a dress is calling the children unto him. They're just buying whatever he says, and suddenly they're not voting Republican anymore. There is now a preacher man going.
You know, the way she puts it down, I don't see anything wrong with this guy. You know, if he's coming into town, he's coming to churches, and, you know, I mean, there's one positive right there, right? He's coming to church. He's healing people. I think that's a positive, right? He's healing people. Now, would the government get a little upset with that because we have Satan everywhere? Of course. I think Satan is the one that would deport this guy. Satan is the one that would attack this guy. I think the people will get behind this guy. So the way she describes this guy coming in now, wearing a dress and with these, and they're all wearing, listen, that's back in the day, that's their attire that they used to wear. So that's irrelevant. Him feeding 5,000 people, healing all these people that are sick. That's great. If he can do that, I think he's a real beneficial for this country. So I don't think Jesus would be deported. So I'm going to take everything back. The way she laid out her case makes me want this guy to come into this country. Makes me want to actually make him a citizen as soon as possible. But other than that, I almost might want him to keep traveling the world to spread the word of what he's trying to do. I kind of like that even better as well. And I'm sure he likes that as well, too. So this, as when you are awake, when you see things that the way they're supposed to be, this type of stuff you can see right through. And she's telling you the truth. She's telling everything you just like, wait a minute, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? He's doing everything. I don't see a illegal there. They tried to associate with someone that we love so much and try to discredit him, right? These are the Romans here, right? These are the Jews, you would say, that killed Jesus. So there you go. Boom. I don't know. I thought she was dead on that how great this guy was. So she did not convince me. Obviously, if you are a beta brain or on the leftist and have a woke disease, you would think Jesus would, you would think that he's illegal and we're bad people and we would deport him. All right. You understand that was satire and sarcasm. No, I don't think that was. This is a leftist person sent me this hoochie-ness. You don't understand. This is a leftist person is in my emails sending me this crap. This is what makes him think that they might be sarcastic. I understand what you're saying. But they take this material and say, we got the MAGA piece. If you're MAGA, you should not be Christian. All right, moving on. Now he sends me this other video.
30.
Something about here is the numbers that he doesn't want you to know. Let's see this one.
4 felony convictions, 54 pending criminal charges, 2 impeachments, 2 popular vote losses, $88 million owed to E. Jean Carroll, $450 million owed for civil fraud, $8 trillion added to the national debt, 2.9 million net loss of jobs. Is this what Trump meant when he promised numbers like we've never seen?
Poor guy. He's just, it's just, imagine if you're like 50, 60, 70 years old and you're just down that path because your wife is a fucking liberal lunatic. He's got to go down that road and then he gets radicalized because it's the only way he's going to get sex is if he aligns with his wife. And you know how the leftist couple, so they're miserable, right? Insane.
34 felony convictions.
34 felonies, all dropped, just so you know. I don't know if he knows that, but they're all dropped on.
54 pending criminal
54 pending. That doesn't mean anything.
charges. 2 impeachments.
To impeach it. So what? They didn't take him out. They can impeach him right now. It'd be 3 impeachments. They can do 4. And guess what? Nothing's going to happen. Okay? So you can keep impeaching them. They don't understand this shit is all fake. This is what they wanted for the 2024 election, is to have all these things against Trump. So when they made their campaign speech or when they made their commercials, they can use the fact that Trump has 34 felonies, that Trump's been impeached twice. This was all just a thing to just slander him, destroy him, and end his life in 2024. That's the whole point of these numbers. They don't realize, the left doesn't realize how fake all these numbers are, how fake these charges are, how fake everything is. Okay? Let's see what else.
2 popular vote.
2 popular vote losses. What does that even mean? Like, what are they making up stuff? Trump won big time in 2016. He won even bigger in 2020, but obviously they think the election was fair and square. Yeah, Biden got 90 million votes, right? But they couldn't pull that off this next election. How come? So that's a lie.
Losses. $88 million owed to
$88 million. No, he does not have to owe that money. This is another lie.
E. Jean Carroll. $450 million owed for
No, that was all reversed.
civil fraud. $8 trillion added to the
$8 trillion. That's also a lie. I don't think it is that high. I think it's 4.2 trillion. I want to go with
national debt. 2.9 million net loss.
That's another lie. Where are you making up these numbers? Why don't you do this for Biden? This is like Biden's number.
Of jobs. Is this what Trump meant?
Lunatic and a loser of the week. All right, moving on. Let's go continue on with this leftist lunatic that wants to debate me. I tried to get him on the show today, but he did not want to. This is another video he sends me. He says, I'm anti-MAGA. You should be too. This is a leftist propaganda video that tries to convince you to be on the wrong side of history.
Been called an anti-MAGA preacher, and it's true. I am anti-MAGA.
It's probably gay as well.
In fact, anyone who claims to be a Christian has to be anti-MAGA, or else you're not truly following the teachings of Jesus Christ.
All right, that's what Satan would say.
You cannot follow Jesus, who told us to welcome the stranger, while also advocating to close our borders to immigrants and refugees.
We already talked about that. Jesus talks about law and order, talks about borders.
You cannot follow Jesus, who told us to feed those who are hungry and give drink to those who are thirsty, while also advocating to cut programs that give food and drink to those who are hungry and thirsty.
Second off, we are draining abusive payments in Medicaid, Medicare. We're trying to get rid of people that should not be on Social Security. And people that don't deserve SNAP or whatever, WIC or whatever. Okay, we're trying to get waste, fraud, and abuse. They don't understand that. They think we went in there and took away from poor people.
Cannot claim to follow Jesus, who went around and provided health care for free while also advocating for cuts to health care.
Another thing that we would dodge was just trying to cut fraud, waste, and abuse, because there's people that don't need it. People are dead or getting it. It doesn't make any sense. We're just cleaning up the mess.
You cannot claim to follow Jesus, who spent his entire life going around and teaching people while also cutting education. You cannot.
We have to cut education. Obviously, it's not doing anything for the American people. We're ranked number 34 in all the countries. It's not good. I think it's 43. Sorry. It's not good. Education is not good. Okay. It's just horrible. They're teaching propaganda. They're teaching leftist wokeism. It does not help these people. Okay. Some of these people are so dumb. They go to Harvard and they have to learn basic math. That's what's happening now. So he's wrong there.
Claim to follow Jesus, who spent his entire ministry giving hope to the poor while also advocating for an economic system that takes money from the poor and gives it to billionaires.
That's a lie. We're trying to cut taxes, no tips, no tax on tips, no tax on social, no tax on other things. I mean, that's another lie. And those are for people with low income wages. And also, you don't pay taxes if you're making only $15,000 a year. So I don't know where he's going with this one.
Yes, I'm an anti-MAGA preacher because everything that claims to make America great again is bad for the kingdom of God, the reign of God on this earth. If you're a Christian, be anti-MAGA.
Okay, he's clearly gay. Is 100 100 times that he's definitely 100% gay. For someone that is saying this, MAGA also brings in Christians. I think we've brought in so many more Christians to this movement. Trump talks about Jesus, talks about God, talks about God's Savior. I mean, they have a Christian wing in the White House. You can't get any more Christian than that. Okay, the faith is there, Jesus is there, God is there. There was none of that on the Democrat Party. This guy is another idiot of the week. All right, so continue on with this leftist conversation. Yeah, I say you don't understand, but one day you will. Left is rotting your brain. I said, oh. He says, fascism took away yours. And I said, you want me to be silent on my views? That's called fascism, I call it, right? He's like, I never said that. No, he doesn't say that, right? People in the government right now did that. And I said, no, they're not. Okay. January 6th, insurrections weren't peaceful protests. They were terrorists. I'm like, okay, thanks, buddy. I was there. All right. We're not terrorists. Okay. We're just people that got into a protest. It got a little out of control because of the leftists, undercovers, and the federal agents were undercover provoking trouble. They don't get it. They do not get it. These leftist people do not understand what happened January 6th. Okay. It's a lot of mixed up stuff. All right. People thought they could go in. All right. Cops letting people in. All right. Yeah, it was out of control. No one's killing people. No one's murdering people. They're just going in. Hey, we're mad. We mad. This election was robbed. Yeah. Nobody's trying to go kill anybody. All right. He says LA protesters were peaceful until the police provoked them. I'm like, goes to show, he says. I said, goes to show what? No, he says, no, they're not. Then they are arresting those disagree with them. I'm like, I used to cover these rallies. Okay. They get out of control so fast. These leftist idiots, listen, if the police weren't outside of the federal buildings would be burnt to the ground. If the police weren't outside the precinct, it would be burnt to the ground. They have to show presence. They have to show force because they don't want you idiots to burn it down, smash it up, tag the shit out of it. That's the whole point of the police force showing up at your stupid protest. Okay? So we go on our conversation. I said, they're not peaceful. He says, used to. No Kings was peaceful all over the country, he says. I'm like, what? I'm like, who is the king? And he says, anyways, Harris won the election. All right, this is his backup, right? His backup. I'm like, okay, oh my God. I said, come on the show. Let's talk about this shit. So he sends me this leftist video on Threads. I could care less about Threads.
My friends, right here, my friends.
Here we go.
Is the Elon proof, raw, authentic, validated 2024 election electoral map. This is the real pure results without interference from other nations that we have proof of, and Elon Musk hijacking voting systems and admitting to it, actually. So this is what it would have been. 286 electoral votes for Kamala Harris, a slight decrease from Biden's margin of victory in 2020 to Donald Trump's 252. So Kamala Harris should have gotten a little over 80 million votes, which is still lower than Biden's, but she still would have surpassed 80 million votes. She would have won with Pennsylvania by just a hair more than President Biden did, 2%. Precincts in Rockland County win New York by 11%. She won it by 15%. And we're seeing, in action, live in action, the court hearings happening and
obviously it's someone that's trans. Of course, this is the person that's going to give you information to confuse you. Satan is going to confuse you. This is who they are. They're possessed. They are mentally disturbed. This is why they're not medically fit to be in the military. Okay. This is just another propaganda piece. Someone made this stupid video like this idiot, found some stupid map to make up some shit to showcase that he thinks Harris would have won. He really believes, or she really believes, whatever this thing is, probably a he trying to be a she. Really, honestly, they're so dumb that they honestly think Harris would have won. It's just mind blowing to me.
The map leaked, the exposed map that it was supposed
Yeah, if this was the real map, dude, then this would have been the results of the election. You know what I mean? They're so dumb. And yeah, Elon even admitted, yeah, right. Okay, sure. Some of these people you just can't handle. All right. So our conversation continues, right? And I said, I'm going live. Let's go in 30 minutes. Doesn't respond because leftists don't want to debate. They're scared. They're very scared. Okay. He sends me another stupid thread post. Here we go. It says, I don't know who the tribute, but it says, say you're in a room with 400 people. 36 don't have health insurance. 48 live in poverty. 85 are illiterate. 90 have untreated mental illness. And every day, at least one person is shot. But 2 are trans. So you decide ruining their lives is priority. That's what's happening right now. Let me tell you something about the 2 trans person. You know why they are, let's just say, let's go with it, right? Let's just say it is a priority. Let's just fall into their thing and say it is priority. Let me ask you something. If we let the trans movement fester, let's just say we incorporate it in all our schools, which is almost is right now, and it's being glorified, and I mean it is, right? And we encourage it at our grocery stores and our shopping stores. Oh, well, it kind of is, right? And then let's just say it's in our college. Oh, it is. Okay. Drag queen. Yeah. It just pushes this agenda, right? That it's okay to be trans. It's okay to be queer or whatever. It's okay not to have children. It's okay to have an abortion. It's okay. This mind virus, this whole mind virus, that's what it is. It's just a big disease. And all it does is it's a dying disease. It's a dying breed for sure. It literally just wants to kill off the human race. Is the woke side, basically. Okay. When you're trans, you completely can't have kids, can't give kids. I mean, trust me, we've seen some of these Manchis have kids. I'm shocked that a Manchi can have a child and be on that much testosterone. I just don't understand how that is possible. They got a full beard and they're giving birth. I mean, like the medication they are on is just messed up. Regardless, okay, say they do have the child. That child is messed up, right? Now you formed another messed up person. It's not a happy breed, okay? It's not a breed of like, oh, we love children. We're going to have 14 of these kids. We're going to build an empire. No, it's none of that. It's just a dying, disgusting breed, okay? They're sick and twisted. If you've seen the pride parades, probably not, because we don't really advertise it, and I don't think it's really showcasing around the United States because no one gives a crap. But I tell you one thing. At these pride parades, they love to show their wang and show their tits. It's just disgusting. They don't care if it's in front of a little of a child or whatever. Some of these parents actually believe that a 1-year-old or 1.5-year-old could tell you, or since they've been speaking, that they're trans. They actually believe this. This is a sick disease that continues on. So that child will transition. The mother is borderline mentally ill. The husband's borderline miserable. Right. And now we've turned this child into the switching that's scarce, never going to have kids or never give kids, whatever the thing is, because it's so young. They stopped puberty. They stopped everything, having the surgery, whatever. Done for. So that whole lineage is gone. Okay. So it's not a breed of building up. It's a breed of killing everybody else. That's why they want to recruit everybody. That's why the gay community hides in the closet. Or did hide in the closet because they don't have a lot of members. But now they got so emboldened. They got in charge of things. They got leadership roles. And they figured out if we do that, we can recruit more people. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. So yeah, those 2 little shit brains in this little article, yeah, if we got rid of them, maybe we wouldn't have any more diseases in this country, right? Let's go with the 36 don't have health insurance. Yeah, well, so the 2 trans people should have full health insurance, right? I don't know. I just, listen, I don't know. This is a stupid little thing that they like to put out to convince them that this is what's going on. But I'll tell you one thing. The 2 trans thing, that's a big deal, I would think. I would think that's it's a problem, okay? If you're trans at 18, whatever, you want to go do that, go ahead. You want to ruin your life, you don't want to have a family, go ahead. But don't teach it to our kids. Don't put it in our schools. Don't put it in our stores. We don't want to see this crap. We got other little kids growing up in America that want to have a normal life, and we don't need this satanic crap trying to feed our kids how to be messed up the rest of their lives. All right? All right. So I said, are you trans? He says, no. He said, and I said, but school shootings are preventable. I'm like, are you gay? He says, no, but I don't see no harm of being so. So he's got to be almost gay, right? Have you been in a school shooting? I asked him. He says, no, because I live in effing Canada where strict gun laws, hence a little no gun violence. I said, go get your testosterone checked. Start there. He's like, I don't need extra testosterone. I'm like, get back to me after you check your testosterone, buddy. It's free, right? You got free health care? Anyways. We continue on. I said, not about the feeling normal. I said, it's not about, he's like, oh no. I said, go get your testosterone. He says, to be manly is to be proud of yourself without having to put others such as women down. Is it free, right? And I said, close enough. I said, all right. Not about feeling normal. It's about getting it checked. Normal doesn't mean demeaning women. I said, I never said that. He's like saying that get testosterone, you're going to demean women. I don't know. It's very bizarre. And then he says, then why do manly people want to put themselves by demeaning women? I don't know. I didn't respond to any of this. This must be come out at 5 o'clock. And my prime example is Charlie Kirk diminishing significance of having women's rights. Okay. He's also advocates women should be carrying a baby even if they get raped. Well, here's another left. I don't know if it's a leftist video or a right video, but let's see what else he sent me. This is what I deal with, some of these leftist people.
Government can't tell me what medical choices I can and can't make for my kid. We need to protect the kids. Okay, do you want to explain why you're cheering for the Supreme Court upholding Tennessee's ban on gender-affirming care for minors, though? Because I'd love to hear that explanation, you chuckle fuck. Because the way I see it, you're good with the fact that when you choose not to vaccinate your kids for things like measles, living, breathing children pass away. You're good with that. You're also good with the fact that in states that do have bans on gender-affirming care for minors, which, by the way, is not always permanent shit. It's things like therapy, you dumb motherfuckers.
First off, the vaccine thing, I kind of agree. I think we need to pull that out. The gender-affirming care therapy, okay, buddy, that still screws you up.
Suicide attempts among trans minors rose by as much as 72%.
Yeah, I would be suicidal if I thought I was the other opposite sex too. So that's kind of like a mental disorder, and you shouldn't encourage it.
And you're also cheering for the fact that Trump is removing the LGBTQ suicide prevention hotline. That's not very pro-fucking life of you.
I don't think so. I just think we're not encouraging LGBT, right? We need to double check on that one.
Before you tell me about how, well, they're just kids, they shouldn't make those choices by themselves. They're not making them by themselves. You ignorant fuck. Same.
So who's making it up? I mean, like, who's confirming it, right?
Parental power that allows you to ignore hundreds of years of scientific fucking miracles by refusing to vaccinate should allow trans minors' parents to find the best path forward with their child and their fucking doctor. But you don't want that.
He doesn't understand these doctors encouraging these kids to transition are doing something very evil. They don't understand that. They just like so all about the doctor. The vaccine works. The doctor's always right. This is what's wrong with these people. They are just so gun-ho thinking that the doctor is not corrupt. They're not thinking that anything is poison in the vaccine. This is how delusional the left is. Continue on.
In the party of small government are perfectly happy to make that choice for them. And you don't give a fuck about who it hurts. So don't ever tell me about how it's about protecting the kids, because it's fucking not. Well,
It is about protecting the kids. This guy's lost. He's also an idiot of the week. All right. So that concludes my conversation with this guy. That was it. That was the last thing he sent. He still didn't respond to coming onto the show. I really wanted him to. I don't mind talking to a leftist and let's just talk it out, right? I don't care. I don't care if you have 4 followers. I'm not looking for if you have followers. I just want to have a decent conversation with a normal person. But then guess what? Because one thing I missed in this conversation, he's from Canada. This whole thing is irrelevant. Get out. You know what I mean? Like, what are you debating me for? You're from Canada. All right? You just want to talk to an American because you desperately just want to be the 51st state. All right? Bottom line. All right. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see here. So there was another hateful message. This guy says, Trump is an idiot. And I said, is he though? He says, it took you a month for you to respond. I'm like, listen, this is the type of message I would delete because they're dumb messages. Anyone thinks Kamala is better is an idiot. He says, if you notice my message, I never mentioned Kamala. But she would have definitely been better than Trump. I already knew you were going to go for Kamala, you fucking idiot. She has worked all three parts of the branches of the government and can you name the three branches of the and their purpose? But Trump is no interest in helping American citizens. He wants to cause fear and chaos in Americans. Okay, buddy. All right. The left wants to cause fear and chaos. Have you seen your protests lately? They don't really end well. And they've been going on for years. They never end well. This will allow him to help profitize from the American government, right? He will also make tax cuts that will hurt lower and middle income. These are just talking points from Bernie Sanders. Plus, removing all immigrants, not just illegal, but hurt the economy drastically. These are the ones that help with manufacturing, picking our produce and service. And these people are racist. They think all the illegals do all these shitty jobs, which is probably true. Yeah, probably. They do a lot of construction jobs too, and they're really shitty at it too. And I don't care because I've seen it firsthand. I'm on the sites all the time. I have another life besides this. But anyways, he says, let's go back to, he says, plus removing all the immigrants are illegal. He said, and then this is another talking point with the left. They love to push the fact that we are deporting legal citizens of the United States. The thing is where that's coming from is when someone gets arrested by ICE, they shout out, hey, I'm a legal citizen. What are you doing? I'm legal. They know you're not. They know you're lying. They know you're a criminal. Goodbye. Then he says, and I haven't scratched the surface of how corrupt Trump is. If you want more, please tell me. He says, I'm going to respond. TDS. Find some help. TDS. Find some help. Boom. I love trolls in my comment section, and I love them in my DMs because I eat them for breakfast. Charles in charge. Where is Charles? Charles Tobacco. This was a video that popped up on my, and Charles sent it to me. Good. Thanks, Charles. But we were going to play it anyways. This is an interesting video. This kid is always out there, and, he's not going to be able to last in these protests much longer because, his videos do very well. And when you start going to these protests, they're going to recognize you, and eventually your content's going to suck because after that, they're just going to belittle you, destroy you, try to hurt you. But I guess that's all good content too. Anyways, this guy is just showing up. Obviously, we know what he's doing. He's on our side, and he just wants to just expose the left as what they are. This is what we used to do in LA. And here he is.
Why? Because you're Oh, yep, my bad. Oh, look, there goes the bird. How you doing, sir? You enjoying the protest?
Yeah, are you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, right here, Dad?
I ain't no racist, sir. Yeah, no, we just out here chill.
See how they're chill right now? We're civil. And the second when we watch this video, he gets worse. This black guy, he actually gets really hateful and stuff like that. But we're civil here, right? And then when politics comes in, or he thinks he's a white supremacist or whatever, because of other people telling him, this is how easily sheep are controlled. You could just, the sheep telling sheep what to do. They're just like, what? That's how they are. They're that crazy. They just believe in anything each other tell them. Did you hear this? Did you hear that? This is a lie. This is a lie, but I'm just going to tell you anyways. Watch this.
I ain't a cat either.
What you out here for? You out here for this shit?
Yes, sir. We're out here talking to the protesters, seeing what's going on.
Yeah. Obviously, you ain't out here for us.
I'm out here just to hear the
You're out here like
opinions.
on some white supremacy shit. Because you're a white boy, and that's how y'all just act. You know what I mean?
Dude, look how fast he snapped right there. You're not here for us.
There's a lot of other white boys out here.
I know. You probably like all this shit that's going on, the white supremacy, all this shit. You know how y'all took over this land?
Yeah.
You know, there used to be Mexican land and all that, Native American Mexican land?
Yeah.
You know, your people came from Europe? came over here and did shit and built walls up, told them people they gotta stay down there?
Yeah.
How would y'all like if somebody came over there in Europe and did it to y'all? How about we start encouraging y'all, getting y'all out here and get this shit back to the Native Americans?
How would you like it if we did that to you in Europe? Never lived in Europe, never cared to live in Europe. I'm here in America. They had some wars back in the day. They had their issues back in the day. It's 2025. Are we really going to complain about something that never affected you? Do you really claim that you're that bad off in life because of the war that happened 600 years ago? Is that what you're bitching about?
How would you like that? Now's your interview. How would you like that? How about we purge this shit for the Native Americans, give it back to the original people of this land?
Were you born here?
Who?
You.
My people are Native American, yes. My people are Native American, yes. They were mixed with
Now he's Native American. Sure, now he's on the Indian tribe.
black people. Yes, I got a 100% Native American grandmother. What about you?
So we're on the same page.
Are you from here? No, you're not from here. You're not from here.
Oh, yeah.
You're not from here. You're European, right?
I'm here.
How about we purge this for the Native Americans? Are you with that?
Are we? Yeah. Yeah, I want to purge this whole country for the Native Americans, right? So there would be literally 100,000 people and every 300 million people will be gone. Yeah, that's what we want to do. And then we're going to watch how American turns into teepees and huts and never gets developed and just goes in reverse. Okay, nothing would be developed. Nothing. Technology would cease to exist if we all just left. Okay, no one can appreciate what is going on in 2025. They want to reverse course. You gave this guy a plot of land. I guarantee the grass will be 5 feet tall in less than 3 months.
Am I with that?
Are you with that?
Current day?
Huh?
Current day?
Are you with that?
To give everything back to Native Americans?
Yeah, we give it back to the Native Americans. You with that?
Go for it.
It's our land
Let's
back,
see what happens.
motherfucker. You
Yeah, let's see what happens. You want to have a war? Let's go. We've already won the war.
with that?
Sure, let's go for it. Let's see what happens.
You look dirty, bro.
I do look
You look dirty, bro.
Now, when they don't have anything, they have to discredit them. They have to call them out. You look disgusting. You look gross. You look like a bum. Shouldn't you wear a suit? Da la la la. Ba 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 ba. This is what they do because they have nothing else to say.
Yo, bro, you look dirty, bro.
I look
You
dirty.
look dirty. Your hair and all that shit, your body. Your clothes can look like whatever. Your body, your face look dirty, motherfucker. You look stinky, nigga.
The reason why he's doing that is try to provoke them to attack him.
Slime ball. Look at this dirty ass nigga. Dirty motherfucker.
Very
Grease
dirty.
ball. No, yeah, he gonna get me all day. His raggedy, look at this dirty ass motherfucker. Put it on your face.
It is on
This
my
dirty
face.
ass, he need to take a shower, cut his hair. You know what I mean?
I could use a
Get a
haircut.
clean cut. Act like the white boy you supposed to be. Put a suit on.
I should
Put a suit on.
right? That'd be
You know what I
good.
mean?
That'd be good.
You
Go
ain't
work at
you
Wall
ain't playing the
Street.
part right. You ain't playing the part. You like a beach bum. You ain't playing the part right, dirty boy. Go get in the shower. You look tan. You trying to be black? Huh?
So
You
now
trying
it's
to
a
get a tan?
now it's a crime to be
Huh?
outside.
You trying to get a tan,
Now
motherfucker?
it's a crime to be outside. It's a crime to be outside now?
Clown.
Wow.
No, it ain't a crime to be outside. It's a crime to be here when you stolen land. On stolen land. It's a crime to be on stolen land.
Were you-
Talking like how you talk.
Were you born here?
Talking how you talk.
Were you born in the U.S.? Because so was I.
100%.
So was I.
Where your family come from?
Then we're equal.
Where your family
We are equal. Thank you.
come from?
They
Mine's
were-
was kidnapped. Where's yours?
My parents were born here.
Clown. He's a clown.
What?
No white people were born here, you dumb.
Oh, really? 'Cause
White
I,
people in the modern day,
I was
like,
born here.
cultures don't come. There's no white culture that comes from the U.S.
I came out of the womb here in the United States.
Yeah, you're avoiding
So,
my
I was
actual
born
argument.
This is the tolerant left. They are insane. Insane, folks. Oh, unbelievable. Here's a post from BuzzFeed. It says, MAGA is loudly regretting their votes after witnessing ICE raids across the nation, and it's really not looking good for Trump. I'm not regretting it, so this is a lie. All right, what else? Here we go. This video here, actually, let's go to the leftist video, Chuck. This one is disturbing. This is I forget her name that goes out and does these protests, but she got this lady talking about her trans kid at 1.5 years old that we were talking about earlier. Yeah, watch this.
What age do you think most trans kids determine that they're trans?
Violet told us when she was 1.5. She's
1.5.
been telling us since she could speak.
Yeah. Your first words is what? You're trans? Oh, how did she? Wow. I'm so dumbfounded. How's that even possible? Oh, it's because all the influence we've had throughout the 1.5 years of knowing you, all the trans shows we've been showing you. Is it because your uncle transitioned? Is it because we encourage gay shit in this family? Is that because we go to these pride events? Who encouraged this child? Who molested this child? What happened? 1.5 years old. Someone is fucking with this child.
So she knew since birth.
What motivated you to come out here today?
We're supporting our child.
Unbelievable. This is interesting. Well, not interesting, but I'll tell you one thing. When I was in LA, there was a lot of these little stands sitting around. Very strange. And they don't let them fool you. Them selling fruit. Okay, there's something else fishy going around. But anyways, this guy talks about how they're missing.
This is the literal impact of the ice raids happening right now in Los Angeles. If you want to walk with me a little bit, this is the city of Vernon. Huge Latino population, a lot of street vendors out here. Today, though, there's only one, and this individual didn't want to go on camera. He says he's really scared about what's happening right now. But this is a street that's normally packed with activity, you know, teeming with activity, from street vendors to people walking to lunch. Not right now, though.
Good. You got to remember, these street vendors, okay, there's nothing, they're not clean. Okay, don't think these are clean. I've seen the guy chop up fruit with his bare hands, okay? He's not clean. He doesn't have a sink over there. He's not washing his hands. And even if he is, how can you? I've seen these guys sit on corners in the middle of the neighborhood, right? Nobody's buying anything. He literally sits there all day. There's something else going on. I think it's drug trafficking, and I think they should all be off the street. You know what I'm saying? They should not be turning our country into Mexico, okay? We don't need these street vendors in the little neighborhoods or on the side of the street. No, it looks like trash. It's poison. It's disgusting. Get out of here in America. Dr. Weber Fitz says, your niece is that she? What? I don't know what you're saying. Moving on. Let's go to the war. Iran has been on this list, right, folks? I don't know if you guys know, but there was a list. It was a list that's been, this video is very old. Chuck, I think it's on my page. It's a video that showcases, wow. Nobody understands this video. This video is this one video that went viral many years ago and talked about the list of countries that needed to be taken over. I just reposted it. It's from 2007. Very, very powerful video that will just be like, whoa. Guess what? This video confirms everything that has happened throughout the years and now what's about to happen with Iran. I'm surprised that no one understands it. No one gets it. Watch it.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me. And one of the generals called me and he said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, No. He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, he said, He said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense office today. And he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
Iran. There you go. The truth about the Middle East, folks. It's been their plan all along. I've been waiting for many years to play that video. And here we are. This is why being awake and being called a conspiracy theorist, whatever, is probably the best thing ever. You know exactly what their playbook is. And it just happens, right? So we just really got to stop this shit. But it looks like we prolonged it, right? It's 2025 now. They had a 5-year plan. Obviously, 2007, if you do the math, 2012, they didn't really get to there, you know. They had Barack Obama there. He was it Barack Obama? Yeah, Barack Obama all the way up to 2015, and then Trump got in. They were supposed to have Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton was probably supposed to take over and getting into all these other wars a lot sooner. We all know the 12-year plan with Hillary, right? So here we are, Iran, and this is another video. We talked about it yesterday. If we go to a war with Iran, Trump, you better make sure you finish it on day one. You make sure that if you're going to do it, that you end it that day. Don't prolong it. Don't shoot a missile. Here you go. And then wait for the response. No, there cannot be a response. Okay? If we are going to get in war with any country, there cannot be one response. Israel's an idiot. They'll start a war and then they'll let bombs hit, attack their own people. They love that shit. I don't know why. This is a little pesky little idiot that does stupid things like that. You shouldn't be doing that. If you're going to get in war, finish it on day one. Like, look at Ukraine and Russia. I don't know what's going on there. Some fake proxy war, right? Oh, we're going to bomb here. We're going to bomb there. No, if you guys are serious about this war, finish it on day one. Throw all your might on day one. Boom. You got enough power. You got enough power, right? You've been gloating about nuclear weapons. You've been gloating about hypersonic missiles. Let's go, Russia. Let's go, Ukraine. You got it or what? Stop fucking around. Anyways.
Look, if you engage, Mr. President, there needs to be no restraint. As somebody who's been the guy going through the door, let me tell you, if you hit the go button, you need to unleash the dogs of war and not hold back. And I'm telling you this as somebody who would sign up today and volunteer to be the first person in the door against the Ayatollahs myself. It cannot be about regime change, though. It has to be about regime elimination. And let them pick up the pieces after. And if another bad guy picks him up, well, he needs to know we're going to do it all over again. Look, I'm advising against war at all costs. But if a hair on the head of one single American is touched, like Iran is saying right now, you need to ensure that Iran is left naked to their enemies for the next century. Let me tell you what's in our arsenal. Think about this for a sec. America has 15,000 planes in our arsenal. Launch them. We have 11 carrier battle groups. Deploy them. Destroyers with enough munitions to dispose of anything at the push of a button anywhere within thousands of miles. We have intel assets that know every single move of every single person in power in that current regime right now. Hand it over to my people so we can go kick in their doors and kill them, their friends, and their neighbors. We can launch a bomber from a base anywhere in the world that doesn't technically exist, that drops a bomb from an altitude so high that it's classified, that 5 miles away, people will hear it explode after you're already dead. And when they run out of bombs, I want them 80 feet above the deck at twice the speed of sound, just like this. We spend more on defense than the next 25 countries combined. And if you push that button, Mr. President, the world needs to know why. Because if we're going to go to war, I want to never have to fight another war again. We won World War II because this is what we did. We dropped a portable sun on a city and then dropped a second one just so they would know we would do it again. If you hit the go button, Mr. President, you can't care about collateral damage or dead civilians and bombed out schools, none of it. And if you don't want to see that, then don't do anything and let Iran get a nuke. I mean, those are the options. But we need the history books to reflect that the last time society who harmed Americans is now visiting their heritage in pieces at the bottom of a lake with scuba gear. We don't have a military for someday. We have it for such an occasion like this. And it's not just Iran, it's the world. They need to understand that. Because if the world, including Iran, does understand that, we don't have to make these choices anymore because they won't tempt us. It's a concept that Ronald Reagan had, peace through strength. But they have to believe you'll use the strength.
That's exactly what I've been mentioning. That's right. If we go to war, Trump, you better finish it on day one. He's right. Civilians, I'm sorry, but you guys are I feel sorry for the civilians. I really do. I really feel sorry for the people that don't want to be involved. I hope they don't want to be involved. I hope they don't hate America. But I'll tell you one thing. You're right. You got to have a war face on this one. So if you're going to war with Iran, you have to finish it on day one. But this is the problem. Even if you do finish it on day one, what about all the sleeper cells in America? How are you going to capture all them? How are you going to stop all them? You really have to figure all that out before we start war with Iran. I mean, the war is going on regardless right now. And obviously they're already saying death to America, and here we go. False flag is incoming soon. Hopefully they don't need a false flag, because that's the problem. They'll do a false flag, and then America's like, oh man, they knocked out our power for 3 weeks. You better destroy Iran. CIA is like, yeah, we need to fight Iran, right? American people, you ready, right? You guys really need it. That's what we're a little afraid of with the false flags. That America does the false flag, we start to say, rah, 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 fight Iran. Because we're not for fighting any war. But if Iran is what they say they are, if they really are a terrorist nation, and that's all they've been trying to do is fund terrorism through other countries, they're secretly building a nuclear bomb. I don't know why it's taking them so long. You hear like every few weeks they're ready to have a bomb. It's been 20-something years. Like, they have a huge stockpile of uranium. I mean, and that's another thing. How do they get the uranium? Right? How do they get access to that? They say when Barack Obama gave them pilots of cash, they also gave them uranium as well as part of the deal with the trade. And then later on, there was missing uranium. Nobody knew where it was. Can't find it. Missing. No, we don't know where these are. And that story got buried like that. And now we're figuring out the uranium was actually part of the deal with Barack Obama. So I don't know how much truth to that is, but it's starting to make sense. Moving on. I'll tell you one thing. Again, you go to war, it better be, that's it, right? All right, here's some videos from Trump from today. Here we go.
Iran or its proxies would wage terror attacks against American targets abroad if you order military action.
We're always concerned about that, and we have to take them out and be very strong. You're even in danger talking to me right now. Do you know that? You are in danger talking to me right now. So I should probably get out of here, but you guys are actually in danger. Can you believe it?
In danger because he's a target? Here he is again.
In Russia, Ukraine, you've been making progress towards a peace deal, but I don't know if you know this, but Lindsey Graham and Mike Pompeo were there on the ground in Ukraine, seemingly doing the opposite, trying to provoke the Ukrainians to keep fighting. What do you think of that?
Well, we're going to see, and people have to be very careful with what they say. They got to be very careful with their mouth, because their mouth can get them into a lot of trouble.
The next one, Houchiness, I'll show you right here. Here we go. I think this is it. This one.
So you have that Iran is building a nuclear weapon. Your intelligence community has said they have no evidence that they are at this point.
Well, then my intelligence community is wrong. Who in the intelligence community said that?
Your director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard.
She's wrong.
So they're trying to start a divide with Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard came out with a post today claiming that they took her out of context. And if you listen to the whole thing, she does say that Iran has enough uranium to be very concerning about. So Tulsi Gabbard did not say that they are not on the path of making a nuclear bomb. They are just not claiming that they're making one. but they have a huge amount of uranium that just doesn't make any sense for a country that doesn't have any nuclear bombs. So she's saying that they have it. They could make it if they authorize the order to make them. But who's gonna say, yeah, well, this is Iran to the world. We are making our nuclear bombs, huh? She's just telling you what's going on. Everyone is assuming that it's obvious that they are making it. But on facts, what you have on paper saying, well, it doesn't say that they're making it. They have a huge amount of uranium, right? I mean, you're just going to have to conclude that, yeah, probably they can make one. And she says that in her testimony that they could possibly make one as long as if they got the order to do. They've never heard the order. But why would they hear the order, right? So they're trying to start a divide between Tulsi Gabbard and Trump. It's all a distraction. Don't fall for it. They took her whole thing out of context. That's what the media is doing. They're trying to pin them against each other. Tulsi Gabbard, if you look at her post right now, she put out a post saying, they took me out of context. This is my full thing. So settled. Okay. Hoochie-ness. She did testify that they were not nuclear capable. They say they don't have nuclear weapons. They say that, but they could make the order. And Dulcie does mention in the testimony that they could make the order if they wanted to put it together, assemble it together. They could. They have enough uranium to do it. You have to almost assume that they do have it. She's just going by the facts. Boom, 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 boom. She can't just say, well, we think they have it because they got so much uranium and they could put it together. You just got to be like, listen, this is the facts. They have enough uranium to make a nuclear weapon. They haven't sent out the order to the world to tell everybody that they're going to make one. So these are the facts. So we have to kind of conclude they're probably either already made one or close to making one. But I hate saying that they're close. I think they already have one, or they just never could make one. Either way, they're trying to create a divide. All right. Moving on. Let's see here. This is interesting. Trump is going to, this is from Lindell TV. Trump calls for a special prosecutor to investigate the 2020 election fraud. So hopefully that'll work out. Right? Well, better work out. Juneteenth is today, I guess. No one really cares. They're trying to claim they want reparations. Good luck. All right. That's all our coverage on Juneteenth because we could give a shit. Here's a interesting video of Charlie Kirk talking about Israel. This is, and I'm going to bring out a point after he makes his claim.
Did these guys not know this was taking place?
So I've been to Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still had the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that is an IDF soldier. Right, the whole country is surveilled, and so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu was basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. I'm not willing to go so far that saying that Netanyahu knew or there was intelligence here, but I think some questions need to be asked.
He knew. He was being investigated. He's not mentioning that. Charlie's not mentioning that he was being investigated for war crimes. There's a whole documentary about it. We talked about it the other day. Candace Owens did a whole show on it. Very strange. Exactly. The whole place is laced up with freaking armored men, walls. Everybody's ready to shoot somebody. You telling me October 7th they were sleeping? Something happened? No, that's an inside job. They wanted to be attacked so they could take over Gaza. It's very clear. And now, Since they take over Gaza, they're like, oh, Iran is funding it. It's time to take out Iran. And voila, we got all 7 countries. Here we are. Let's go to the cue board. Here we are. It says together we are where we go one, we go all. Hashtag winning. Look for more direct confirmations. It's time. Trust the plan. Barack Obama with the crates of money to Iran. Well, there you go. Trump posted that. Trump posted Barack Obama with pilots of cash. He says, who's responsible for Iran's nuke program? The Q post says, are you awake? Do you see yourself, the mainstream media propaganda tool of the left? Do you see Facebook, Twitter, Google censoring non-left POVs? Do you see the corruption? Do you see the evil? Are you a slave? Are you controlled? Are you a sheep? Are you awake? Do you think for yourself? Learn the truth, facts, history, the Great Awakening. They're losing control. Respect opinion or attack those who dare to challenge your narrative. It's right in front of you. Who are the true fascists? Who are the true fascists? Racists. Why does Antifa flag mimic the one of the Nazis? Coincidence? For humanity, wake up and learn. Fight, fight, fight. Where we go one, we go all. Posted October 25th, 2018. They want you divided. They call us names. They make threats. They censor. They lie. They project. They cheat. They steal, harm. They are sick. They're evil. At some point in the streets for them will not be safe. Pointing a patriot in the crowd. He's pointing. Trump's pointing at a guy with a Q shirt. Does anyone? Does it get any more obvious than that? Together, where we go on. Hashtag winning. Me holding on to the plan. The hunt is on. Hunters became the hunted. Listen, folks, it is. We are awake. We're wide awake. We see everything coming. This is a good time to be alive. I know it's also to be scary. This also is. This is also breaking too. U.S. Navy finds children gold, bioweapons, military locks down oceans as deep state submarines are intercepting, carrying missing kids, blackmail servers, and floating biolabs. Look at that. Instead of having biolabs in Ukraine, now they're going in the ocean. I mean, why not? No one else is out there. So there's some deep rabbit hole stuff if you want to go down it. Other than that, this video is fake. I don't know if you guys seen this. This one's fake. Don't fall for it.
People.
I see you now.
What's your name, sir?
Say
your name.
Jesus.
Are you from
Joe
here?
Mill.
Oh my God, they're just taking this man, dude.
I see you. Ah! Ah!
Dude, you guys.
Ah! Ah!
This is so scary, you
No!
guys. Poor man, dude. Like, so many people are taking this man. People.
First off, they wouldn't have these two women doing this. This has got to be a fake. Yeah. If you've seen it, I wouldn't buy into it. Here's a video that was sent to me. I don't know what it is. Let's check it out.
Black people like basketball so much?
Because it involves running, stealing, and shooting.
Why do black people like basketball so much?
Because it involves running, stealing, and shooting.
I'm not laughing. That was an AI joke. All right, folks. Let's see what else here. This is a big case that just broke. Consultant Biden paid to find root cause of immigration. Pleads guilty to USA bribery scheme.
Southern border's a ghost town. Every bad hombre in the third world knows we're not spread eagle anymore. They love Joe and his border czar Kamala. She was never really interested in building a wall. She just wanted to find root causes.
We want to work with you to address both the acute causes as well as the root causes. We are focused on addressing both the acute factors and the root causes. Not only the root causes, but the acute causes. To look at the root causes and the acute causes. My trip to Guatemala and Mexico was about addressing the root causes. Addressing the root causes of irregular migration. For the past 3 years, I have led our administration's efforts to address the root causes of migration.
And we're learning now that she did what Joe did and tried to pass that work off onto someone else using USAID. They wrote up a contract. The southern border's a ghost town. Every bad hombre in the third world worth up to $800 million for consultants to find the root causes for them. But here's the problem. Walter Barnes III, the man who founded one of these companies that got the cash, was a known con man. He just pled guilty to a decade-long USAID bribery scheme. And the government knew he was shady for years, even before they gave him all the money. Now, in 2023, the USAID Inspector General said Barnes lacked honesty and integrity. But on the same day, he was awarded an $800 million contract. They had good reason to be suspicious. Over the years, Barnes secured big money deals by bribing USAID employee with pricey basketball suites, a trip to the vineyard, and even a down payment on a house. Isn't that nice? Worth up to $800. And once he got paid, Barnes burned through pallets of cash, doing everything but what we paid him to do. We reached out to Walter, never got back to us. And once he got paid, Barnes burned through pallets.
So I guess pleads guilty. I guess hopefully there's some arrests. People don't even know who they are. So it's no names getting arrested. Yay. I mean, it's good, but yeah, whatever. All right, folks. Here's an idiot. Here's another idiot of the week, folks. This lady is celebrating that she left America to go to the Netherlands. They're going to love her. There you go. The mentally ill are leaving America. Good.
But these.
Good. Other than that, folks, that is just another wacky doodle, I would say. What's today? Tuesday, Monday? What day are we at? Friday. Wow, time flies. Friday. That wraps up today's Friday broadcast. Obviously, we'll be either tomorrow or Sunday, and obviously we'll be here Monday. I mean, we're all here every day, right? But other than that, guys, if you haven't done so, make sure you go to webersway.com/shop. Check out our store once and for all and get something to support our show because every little item that you buy helps out our show. So get it while it's hot. Get the new American Fighter shirt, the new Black Armor of God logo shirt, the Alpha shirt. That's a big seller, Chuck. I didn't know that. That's pretty big. Obviously, our two jackets are out. The Armor of God and Spiritual Warfare jackets are out. And we got some Trump gear, kids' clothes, and their state shirts, mugs. You got it. Check out our store, Spiritual Warfare at webersway.com. One day we'll get spiritualwarfare.com. I guess apparently it's going to cost us like almost 10 grand to get that site. I was wanting to get it. I have to, if you type in spiritualwarfare.com, it goes to a church. I'm sure they're going to want a lot of money for it. Hopefully they'll just give it to me. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll work on it. Other than that, folks, it's just a day to remember that something big is coming. Something's very coming. It's coming soon. We just got to be very vigilant. So we're going to pray for the leftist losers of the week. Dear Heavenly Father, we pray that we wake up every leftist loser. Wake them up so they realize that they are on the wrong side of history. Help them figure out that they've been wrong all this time. So, Lord, we ask you to show yourself to them. Wake them up tonight. Show and reveal yourself that you are the one and true and only one to the path of heaven and the holy life. Lord, we ask you to wake them up, change their minds, because we got to wake up every American to realize the evil is on us. They're fighting against us, and we need to overcome it. So we ask you to wake them up tonight. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, folks, if you haven't seen our new music video called Deport 'em All, I'm going to play it right now for you, folks. Have a good night. Here we go. Ready?
Out in the heartland where the flags fly high, we're locking down the borders, no more sneaking on by. Trump's leading the charge with a fire in his stare. ICE is slapping cuffs on illegals, beware. Deport, deport, haul them off the street. Spiritual warfare, bringing down the heat. Arresting all the criminals, watch them cry and fall. To Alcatraz, we're sending here, they're deporting them all. They thought they'd run free, breaking laws with a grin. But ICE is on the prowl, and they ain't gonna win. We're clearing out the bad guys, cleaning up the town. With Trump calling shots, those tears are falling down. Deport, deport, haul them off the street. Spiritual warfare, bringing down the heat. Arresting all the criminals, watch them cry and fall. To Alcatraz, we're sending here, we're deporting them all. They thought they'd run free, breaking laws with a grin. But ICE is on the prowl, and they ain't gonna win. We're clearing out the bad guys, cleaning up the town. With Trump calling shots, those tears are falling down. Deport, deport, haul them off the street. Spiritual warfare, bringing down the heat. Arresting all the criminals, watch them cry and fall. To Alcatraz, we're sending here, we're deporting them all. From the back roads to the cities, hear the justice ring. We're locking up the outlaws, let the patriots sing. No more crime in our streets, we're taking back control. Ship them off to Alcatraz, let them weep in that hole. Deport, deport, haul them off the street. Spiritual warfare, bringing down the heat. Arresting all the criminals, watch them cry and fall. To Alcatraz, we're sending you, we're deporting them all. So raise your hat to Trump, keep the country strong. ICE is rounding them up, moving along. From the prairies to the coast, we're answering the call. Spiritual warfare's here, and we're deporting them all.